When the New York Giants and the Dallas Cowboys went at it on Monday Night Football, one of those teams was undefeated. Yes, it was the Giants. And there were all the memes, the three-headed dragons about, the remaining undefeated teams in the NFL. It was funny. I wasn't going to lie to you. But I also did have a feeling that it would be a long road for the Giants, who honestly are a good football team. Like, we saw some good things last night. We really did, as they faced off against the Cowboys. But overall, when you come away from a game like that, and like we always do, we've got our edition of Standouts and FIZZOUTS, where, everybody's got their own edition of risers and fallers or winners and losers. Ours is Standouts and FIZZOUTS because Pop, yes, we think it's the greatest thing since sliced bread. Let us know what you guys drink, whether it's Coke, Mountain Dew, Pepsi, whatever it is. Coke the drink. Dry humor, I'm sorry. But anyway, so welcome back to another edition of Standouts and FIZZOUTS as we look at Standouts and FIZZOUTS from this game. If I'm being honest, there were a lot of players on both sides that really stood out to me. I think starting it out, number one on any side for that matter is Cooper Rush and the Cowboys. I think when you have a guy that comes in like Cooper Rush and he's able to win a couple of football games for you, it's kind of crazy. It definitely is a little nuts when you think about this guy and kind of what he's done already in the NFL with the Cowboys. Like, he's able to win football games. I think he's good, just good enough to be able to keep the Cowboys in it while Dak Prescott does heal. So, I got to give a lot of love to Cooper Rush because he has really impressed me. Completed, what was it, about divided by 7. You can't even divide that by 7. 21 of 31. So finished 21 of 31 for 215 yards, touchdown, no picks. Definitely that first standout in terms of, a guy that really led his team, in multiple facets, being able to, extend plays on third down, being able to throw the ball into some tight windows there, and I think he really showed himself to be at least a very capable backup and continues to show that in the NFL. Another standout, Tony Pollard. Absolutely. Tony Pollard, to me, I really feel like is a guy that probably should get a lot more carries, but it is the fact that Zeke Elliott's also back there, who is definitely another standout. But between the two, they played very well. Had over 180 rushing yards and a touchdown. So they were able to run the ball at will pretty much. Behind that offensive line and do their thing. So those two guys definitely standouts in what they wanted to do. Another standout, Nola Brown to me. Nola Brown was one of those guys that I was questioning what he was going to do with the Cowboys, especially with all these other weapons. But he had himself a very good game. 5 catches, 54 yards, no touchdowns. But, another standout to a degree is Cd-Lam. Now, I struggled with this one because Cd-Lam in the past, I believe, has struggled with drops, and it was kind of no exception this game. He had that one. I want to say it was, it wasn't the play action waggle concept. It was the play action where Cooper Rush had him over the middle because Cd-Lam was just running wide open, and you can see how mad that Kellen Moore was. Like, you could see it. But overall, Cd-Lam really was that guy that stood out for me when we talk about receiving for the Dallas Cowboys. So I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt here. Yes, drops did hurt him, but I'll also make him a standout today because he definitely did some good things. Another standout, the play calling for the Dallas Cowboys, like top to bottom. When you consider, yes, it was a little stagnant there to start out the game, which, a lot of it is just game flow, seeing what's going on. But, you try a toss play on 3rd and 12 behind, Tyler Smith and company, and then the next the next player, one or two later, Zeke Elliott has a 9-yard run as well. So, it was a very good night for Kellen Moore and company. I felt like they really exposed a lot of the Giants' weaknesses on defense, especially with running the football. And they had some very good passing concepts that were absolutely integral to them kind of exploiting some of those lapses in coverage. Definitely another standout for the Cowboys, the pass rush. When you have a DeMarcus Lawrence that has, 3 sacks, and the rest of these guys that just got after it, like the Giants' offensive line, we all knew it wasn't great. But Donovan Wilson, I believe it was Myrick for the Giants that missed on that block there, but he had a sack. DeMarcus Lawrence had 3. It seemed like all 3 were on Evan Neal, but it was just a rough night for the rookie. Dorrance Armstrong, definitely another standout, had a sack, also blocked that field goal early in the game. Trevon Diggs had that pick as well to kind of seal the game. I kind of put that more on Daniel Jones rather than, a guy like Trevon Diggs making a play there, but it is what it is. You kind of just got to give the credit where it's due. He's also got to make the play too. So another standout for me was Kavonte Turpin. You know, he just, when you watch him in the preseason, you're like, okay, he's pretty explosive, but what's it going to be like? But had that really nice punt return that really gave the Cowboys some juice late in the game, and I really felt like they were kind of able to rally around that and do some good things. You know, also standouts. I mean, the Cowboys' offensive line, they didn't allow a single sack. They cleared running lanes for Tony Pollard and Zeke Elliott. So really good job by the offensive line and everybody that, you know, and really good job by the play calling to help that offensive line and really put it in the best position to be successful. It was really good to see. Now, as far as fizz-outs for the Cowboys, you know, it was really hard to see if we want to pick out standouts, but, you know, I felt like to a degree with the Giants, with the Cowboys, I think that the Cowboys could have been better in terms of putting a spy on Daniel Jones. Definitely a fizz out for me when you talk about the fact that Daniel Jones was just all over the place and was able to do a lot of different things. But like I said, I think it just comes down to the fact that, you know, when you have an athletic quarterback like that, you have to be able to game plan for that and do a lot of different things. And, you know, I do think that the Cowboys still defensively are a very tough team, but I do have my questions as to, you know, what they're going to be able to do down the line. You know, and I would say a fizz out for me definitely is Anthony Barr to this point. You know, I was expecting a little bit more in terms of him being able to come in and do some different things, but it is what it is at this point. You've got all these different pass rushers. Also, another fizz out for me. You know, Micah Parsons is amazing, but he kind of got you know, he wasn't really active in this game, but I mean, Micah Parsons, overall, he's public enemy number one when you play the Cowboys defense. So yes, he's going to get a lot of attention, but overall, I felt like he was definitely a fizz out. But honestly, there's not a lot of fizz outs from the Cowboys side of things. Like, they were just able to do a lot of different things and be able to get the win here against the Giants. So now, as far as standouts for the Giants, you know, the Giants are a really good football team. Saquon Barkley, to me, is a very good football player. He's going to continue to be kind of the leading force for this and be a very good player for the Giants long term. He's going to be a leader for him. He's going to be the heart and soul of that offense. I got to get over to the Giants here. I apologize. So, yeah, Saquon Barkley, 14 carries, 81 yards, and a touchdown. Just, you know, had that long touchdown run. Also had that nice screen pass, over 120 all-purpose yards on the night. You know, he was the guy that really, to me, is going to continue to be the heart and soul of that offense, and I'm really happy for him. Daniel Jones, I struggled with this one because Daniel Jones will make a play that you look at and you're like, ugh, like that. For instance, that interception of Trevon Diggs, yeah, it wasn't pretty. I don't know if that was more on the receiver. What was it, Sills, I believe it was, that was in the area, or if it was, you know, Diggs just making a great play, or Jones just making a bad throw. And to be honest with you, I think it was more of the fact, like, Sills probably was supposed to be a little bit flatter on that route, and Daniel Jones was trying to put it where he was supposed to be. You know, in the NFL, everybody talks about throwing to a spot. Every quarterback does it. Don't tell me that they don't. So Daniel Jones, there's throws he makes that I'm kind of puzzled, but then there's other throws, like that back foot throw he made to the sideline. I think it was Sterling Shepard who caught it, or maybe it was Richie James, but he threw it on the sideline off his back foot, and it was just a dime. And I'm just sitting there, off your back foot, you've got that kind of arm strength. It's just, I don't know. It's kind of puzzling for me. But you know, Daniel Jones, I think he's a fizz out for me, just in terms of, you know, you had your team in a position to win there late at the game, and he couldn't make it happen. You know, he did have 9 carries for 79 yards, but overall, it's rough. It's absolutely rough. But I will say a standout for the Giants, Sterling Shepard, 5 catches, 49 yards. Also, Daniel Bellinger, 4 catches for 40 yards. Definitely had himself a good night. I felt like he was, you know, he's really showing himself to be the number 1 tight end in New York there. So, you know, David Sills is doing some good things as well. Like I said, Chris Myrick, to a degree, is a fizz out for me. He did miss that block on Donovan Wilson early in the game that led to that sack on Daniel Jones. But overall, this team is, you know, there's a lot of good players on this team, but you got to really watch out for, you know, you can't get too high. You really can't get too high with the Giants because, you know, yes, they're 2-1 right now still in the NFC East, and it is what it is at this point. Adoree Jackson, 7 tackles, excuse me. You know, I think it was he made that really nice play late in the game to force that 4th down. Xavier McKinney and Julian Love both all over the place. But, you know, definitely fizz outs for me was the Giants pass rush. Like, the trenches did not get it done. Kayvon Thibodeau, you know, a little bit of an MIA, but at the same time, you kind of understand understand it because he's coming off an injury like that. You know, he's probably going to be a couple weeks before he's back to 100%. But, you know, it definitely a fizz out in my mind. I felt like he was, like I said, he just did not make an impact, and it was rough. You know, also the early offense for the Giants, like both teams for that matter, the early offense for both teams were definitely fizz outs. When we talk about the fact that they just, I don't know whether it was play calling, the Giants were giving up a lot of pressure. You know, Daniel Jones didn't have any time, whether it was, you know, no matter what it was. And plus, they weren't really opening up any huge lanes for Saquon Barkley. One could argue that the one touchdown run was his best run or was really one of the only runs where he had enough room to be able to get through there. So rough night in terms of run blocking. You know, also like we talked about in the trenches, it was rough. The run defense for the Giants, I mean, you allow over 180 yards to those two, and Tony Pollard and Zeke Elliott. It is what it is because they're two of the best running backs in the NFL, but it's tough. It's tough. Definitely fizz outs in my mind. But yes, overall, the trenches weren't great for the Giants. I do think that the Giants are heading in the right direction. I do definitely think that. You got Saquon back. I think Brian Daboll is doing some good things for this unit, but overall, there's still some more growing pains. There's going to be some more things that you watch out for. But that's it. Let us know what you guys think about our latest edition of Standouts and FizzOuts. Make sure you guys like and subscribe down below. Leave a like and a comment. It helps people find the show. We greatly appreciate all the support that we've gotten and continue to get. You guys are all truly awesome. We love every single one of you. Down in the description below, you'll find all of our social media platforms, so give us a like and a follow there. Also, remember to give us a listen and sub on iTunes. And finally, if you have anything else you'd like us to cover, send us an email at thesportsbp@yahoo.com or put in the comment section down below, and we would love to cover it. But let us know what you guys think. Also, almost forgot, let us know what you guys drink as far as Coke, Pepsi, Mountain Dew, or whatever it is. We would love to hear it in the comment section down below. And then also, finally, let us know what you guys think about the standouts and fizzouts from the Dallas Cowboys versus New York Giants matchup.